Hi everybody, this is another update in the building of my new koi pond. The reason for the update is just because we've done a bit of fettling, a bit of tweaking since the last time you saw it, and it's actually at the point now where it's ready for the fish to go in. So I'm not going to put the fish in today because I'd like a full day to watch them and monitor them, but I thought it's worth just having a walk around now and just see some of the changes we've had and a couple of issues, and just sort of tell you bits and pieces that I've done since then. So starting off with the pond, builders have been back, so ground up builder have been round, and they've put the slates on, they've masticked, jointed, sealed, and then we've gone over them with G4. So we had a right go getting any sort of copings, to be honest, for the pond, and we ended up actually getting these from I can't think of the name of the company, but basically on eBay, if you search for black Brazilian slate copings, there's a company up north that the brilliant service. They got these to us within a couple of days, and really reasonable price. And once you've coated them with G4 as well, they've got that permanent wet look. It's marvellous. But yeah, as you can see, water's at the right level. Pond aeration, the air drone's working well. So yeah, I'll just nip over and have a quick look at the heat pump. So I haven't had this turned on all the while I've been checking for leaks and running things and changing things around. So I've only just put it back on this morning really to get it up to temperature for putting the fish in tomorrow. But as you can see, cats love it. There's paw prints all over the top of it, so we obviously found the way they get up to the fence anyway. But yes, it's I don't know whether you'll get this or not, but we are at 16 degrees and I want it to be 16 and a half, so it's just we're just half a degree off where we need to be at the minute, so it's whirring away. But yeah, I mean, that's working, touch wood, everything's been fine with that so far. So I'll just wander over to the filter house and I'll catch you over there. So the filter bay really is just a bit of a tidy up and a bit more piping. The one thing that's still missing is the covers. I have ordered them. I've got the plywood on order, but I was told something like 6 to 8 weeks delivery for many of our local builders for plywood, marine ply. So it is what it is. We're just waiting for that at the minute and put a big tarp over it at night. But again, just as I say, a little bit of a tidy up in here. What wasn't here last time we filmed was the waste to the drain. So there's one that comes right round the back, which is from the individual unit, comes all the way back round the back and down into the drain, and this one obviously is out from out of the main drum filter unit. So just quickly show you inside the filter. So the drum filter's fantastic. I can't help pressing the clean button every time I walk past it, but it's one of those things. The filter media on the last video, you would have saw me just put all the new media in. Crikey, didn't it half float, so I ended up getting it out basically, and I've had it soaking in PP for a couple of days, and I've just put this back in this morning. So there's still a bit, you can see there's some of it's taken more than others. But you know, in general, for where it is, 2 days, 3 days in water now, that's fine as far as I'm concerned. One thing I will mention with the when setting this up is I had a bit of an issue with one of the sensors. When I turned it on, I could not get rid of error code 88, which basically means that the pressure, the drum to wash the screens isn't supplying enough water. Well, I pressed the button and it was absolutely fine. I just could not get to the bottom of why it wouldn't go off. I tried everything. A quick call to the ORZ technical department. Basically, they said that the differential, unless you're running these really quite heavily with really serious pumps, the differential between the water level when everything's turned off and then the water level drop when the pumps are all churning away, on normal running just isn't enough. That variance isn't enough to actually register it, the sensor, so it's basically giving false readings. So the advice on that apparently is that they tell sort of 60% of people who ask this question basically end up turning the sensor off, because they say themselves, unless you're running this really heavy, it doesn't, you're never going to get that differential. So since turning that off, everything's been absolutely fine. As I say, it's just an absolute dream to play with. Just put the cover back on. Just cleaning right on cue. Obviously it won't clean with the cover off, and that's the water from the clean going to waste. So the air puffs that you can see down on the floor, that's a temping position at the minute because I haven't got enough airline for them. I went out and bought a 45 litre per hour pump to operate this, and I can't remember, about 30 litre an hour pump, the Jabo, to operate the bottom drain. But when I put that on the bottom drain, it was like a jacuzzi. It really was way over the top. So I've ended up going out and buying a cheap 20 litre per hour pump, which, as you can see, is more than enough activity at the minute on there. And the Jabo that was carrying that, I've actually put that into the filter bed, the filter media here at the minute. And that will obviously keep things going a little bit slower while the filter's all maturing and everything's starting to work. I may well put the heavy duty one on to make it really boil once everything's established, but for now that's it. So that, absolutely wonderful, working exactly as it should do. The individual unit, trickling's in, it's been working now for a couple of days. There's not really a lot to see here. What I've decided to do is when I put the fish in tomorrow, I'm going to take all the filter media out of those. So there's like a lot of ceramic bags and there's foam things, and I'm actually going to put them in these chambers. So I'm not going to put them in the main chamber, I'll put them in here, so they still get the benefit of doing that. The big change that I've made in here is that the original pump that I put at the bottom was an Oazi Aquamax Classic 12,000C. But to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed with the speed coming out of the jets and the travel around the pool, the flow that I got going around the pool. So to cut long story short, I ended up replacing it. I've bought an 1800C, and there's much better flow through the pool. But now that's working, as I say, I'm only running that at about 85% at the minute. Again, you know, everything there is working as it should be, which is absolutely great. I've tried clearing them down, I've checked the valves, the purge valves and all that sort of thing, and everything's wonderful. And the only other last bit really that's been done is just tidying up all the wiring. The length of some of these wires was just astronomical, whereas other wires, they're just far too short, and I've ended up having to extend them. But I said to you in one of the early videos, I'm not a great big fan of the where you wire everything into a control box. I know it looks smart and I know it's purpose made, but I'd just rather have a plug, which is why I had this bank of plugs put down here. But yeah, tidied all the wiring up, everything's plugged in there, everything's labelled on the top, and I've got plenty of spares for some new toys when I start looking at something else. So yeah, that's about where we are at the minute. It's if you have a look, it's looking good. Obviously you've got to envisage this with the filter covers on. Short term, no doubt. Longer term, it'll be a complete unit with windows looking out, so I can come in here on rainy days and just watch the koi. But yeah, it's really come together well now. We just need to get the rendering done on the outside, and that will really be the pond finished, obviously, other than putting the fish in tomorrow. And then we've got to start in the garden, and then hopefully by summer we can start enjoying this. But great stuff. Hope you've enjoyed the videos as we've been going through this. Thank you very much for keep watching. Some of your comments fantastic. If anybody wants to know anything about my build, then please just drop me a line. More than happy to share my trials and tribulations on this. And hopefully next video tomorrow will be getting the fish out of the quarantining tank and putting them in, see how they react to their new home. They better like it. So take care, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow.